Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. They briefed us in the air. No prep, no dossiers. Just a 4-minute rundown on a battered tablet handed to me in a chopper that smelled like old fuel and cold sweat. We were maybe 20 clicks from the Romanian border when the doors closed behind us and the mission clock started ticking. We've lost contact with 3 mountain villages. Last radio transmission was 36 hours ago. The last words recorded were, "They're standing now." That was it. No maps, no civ pop numbers, no weather report, even though snow was already crawling over the windows like a slow infection. 6 of us total, NATO tasking, multi-nation black op. We'd worked together before, well, most of us. They rotated in a new comms guy at the last second. Kid named Rook. Looked 19, eyes too wide. Kept double-checking his rifle like he expected it to fall apart. I remember thinking, don't name him Rook. That's a jinx. You call a man Rook, and you've already written the ending. The others, Mackenzie, American, Sniper, dry sense of humor, could shoot a blink off a bird. Del Toro, Spaniard, demolitions, always carried one more grenade than he was supposed to. Ivchenko, Ukrainian, tracker, didn't smile much. Said the mountains whisper if you know how to listen. Lefebvre, French, medic, quiet type, eyes like ice water, carried poetry in his breast pocket. Never figured out if it was for luck or guilt. And me, Varga, sergeant, Hungarian-born, closest thing we had to local. I grew up 2 valleys west of where we were headed. Haven't been back in 20 years. Didn't plan to. We touched down in a frozen clearing an hour before dawn. The silence hit first. Not just quiet. Dead. No birds, no wind. Even the chopper didn't sound right taking off, like it got swallowed by the trees before the echo could come back. Thermals are useless, Rook muttered, fiddling with his tablet. They're running hot and cold. Same spot. Mackenzie scanned the ridge with his scope. That's not possible. Well, it's what I'm seeing. Del Toro snorted. Great. Ghost wolves. I knew this place was cursed. We made our way east, uphill toward the first village, Petrumare. It wasn't on any official map, which already told me too much. My grandfather used to tell stories about villages like that, places that never quite made it into the census, places people forgot on purpose. Took us 90 minutes to get there, moving slow over uneven ground. Fresh snow covered everything. No tracks, no noise except our boots. And then we saw the houses. Most of the roofs were caved in, but not from collapse, from impact, like something landed on them. One had a claw mark through the entire second floor. 3 distinct gouges, too wide for bear, too long for cat. No blood yet, just wood, torn open like paper. We cleared the first few buildings one by one, empty, no bodies, but signs of life interrupted. Dinner still sitting on a table, a coat hung over a chair, children's toys frozen into the mud, Mackenzie was the first to say it. This just happened. He was right. Whatever tore through here, it hadn't been long. There was still smoke under the ash in the fireplace. Lefebvre found a loaf of bread that hadn't even molded yet. Then we found the first corpse, or what was left of it, hung upside down from a tree, gutted, but not like an animal kill. This was arranged, like a warning. The skin was peeled back from the face and arms, stretched wide like wings. Snow beneath it was soaked red. A shape had been carved into the earth, a spiral. Rook made a noise like he was gonna be sick. Wolves don't do this, Yevchenko muttered. People don't either, I said. Not unless they're making a point. Then we saw the tracks. First they looked like wolf prints. Big ones, sure, but explainable. Then they changed. Not gradually, suddenly. The stride widened. The pads deepened. Toes spread differently. And then they stood. You could see where it happened, where the paws turned to feet, where the claws dug deeper. They started walking upright like a man, but wrong. Heavy, deliberate strides too far apart for human ankles. One of them must have been 9 feet tall. Del Toro backed away from the prince. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's not a fucking animal. Mackenzie raised his rifle, eyes on North Ridge. We froze, looked. Nothing. I swear I saw movement, tall, fast. It ducked when I spotted it. Thermals? I asked. Rook shook his head. Still busted. Yevchenko leaned close to me. We shouldn't be here, Sergeant. We're not hunting animals. I know. And I did know. Deep down. Had known since the moment the Black Hawk left and took the last bit of warmth with it. Something in these woods wanted us quiet, wanted us blind, and whatever it wasn't alone. We followed the tracks, not because it was smart, not because we had a plan, but because they were there, and we were trained to follow. That's what they count on, I think. Things like, it walked that way, override, this feels wrong. That's how men like us get eaten. The spiral in the snow didn't look like a ritual. Not exactly. It looked like instinct, repetition, something carved by something that had to carve it. And every print around it was bipedal. Yevchenko knelt and ran his gloved hand across the inner ring. Clawed feet, the strides clean, no stagger. It was calm. Calm? Rook asked, staying a good 6 feet back. Deliberate, Yevchenko clarified. Del Toro was already sweeping the tree line with his launcher, muttering to himself. I'm just saying, if this is some Red Dawn reptilian hybrid shit, I am not getting skinned in a postcard village. We kept moving, through the center of town, one by one. Each house we cleared told the same story. Abandoned in a rush, meals half-eaten, fireplaces still faintly warm. No blood inside the homes, only outside and always near the doorways, like they tried to run. We came across the church last. It was small, stone, moss-choked and half-buried in the slope. The front doors were wide open. Snow crept in like it didn't want to. Inside, it stank. Not death, not rot. Something older, like wet fur left in a bag, and something metallic beneath it. Iron and burned sugar. Mackenzie muttered. I've smelled that before. Kandahar. Improvised incineration. I stepped forward. The stained glass above the altar was smashed. Cold light spilled in and lit up the center of the room, where the pews had been torn away. Something had cleared the space. At the very center, more bodies. 6 of them seated in a circle, upright, eyes wide open, faces frozen in horror. They'd been arranged that way, deliberately. Some were missing their jaws. One had their hands clasped together like they were still praying. Rook finally lost it and ran outside. I could hear him vomiting. Ivchenko whispered something in Ukrainian and didn't elaborate. Lefebvre stepped forward, expression like glass. No visible wounds, no blood trails. How'd they die? I asked. He crouched, touched a throat. Looks like heart failure. All 6? He didn't answer. Mackenzie took a photo. Who the hell does this? Who stages this kind of thing after they kill? It wasn't staged, Ivchenko said. We looked at him. He pointed at the ground. No drag marks. They walked here, sat here, died here. The room felt colder suddenly. The snow didn't melt inside. My breath steamed out and didn't rise, just hung there, like the air didn't know what to do with it. I noticed the carvings next, symbols scratched into the pews, the floorboards, even into the altar itself, claw marks in wide spirals, intersecting and repeating. Some were too clean, not random, repeating geometry, fractal shapes I'd seen before in classified files, shapes that turned up at Chernobyl, at Kishtim, at places we weren't supposed to talk about. And at the center of them all, carved into the altar like a wound, Zver, beast. I ran a hand over it. It was warm. That's when the radio hissed. Rook's voice cracked over the line, trembling. Movement, back of the village, East Ridge. I think there's someone out there. Human? I asked. No. I mean, yes. I don't know. It was standing, watching me. We bolted out of the church. Snow kicked up underfoot. The wind had picked up, but it didn't make a sound, just pushed at us like it wanted us gone. Rook was standing in the middle of the road, rifle up, eyes wild. I saw it, he said. It was tall, naked, pale. It crouched, then stood, watched me like I was food. Where did it go? He pointed past the last house, toward the woods. It moved fast. Mackenzie was already scanning with his scope. Nothing could be a hallucination. Not a hallucination, Rook snapped. I believed him. Every hair on my arms had started to rise, like my blood wanted to turn around and walk the other way. Something in that village wasn't finished with us yet. That's when we heard it. Low, wet, wrong. Not a howl, a breath from the trees. Then another, not echoing, mirroring, from the opposite side. And then behind us, 3 sources, minimum. They were circling. And they were smart. We should have left after we saw them standing, but we stayed, and they waited. because that's what predators do when they've already won. We were being herded, pushed from one empty building to the next, trying to act like we were still making decisions. I kept telling myself we were gathering intel, securing ground, running a grid, but deep down I knew they were playing with us. We fell back toward a barn near the southern edge of the village. Good sight lines, one way in, one way out. We set up fast. Del Toro laid charges. Mackenzie took a sniper's perch. Rook ran diagnostics on our dead thermals. And Lefebvre started unpacking a field kit without me even asking. His hands were steady, but his face was pale. Something had broken in him back in the second village. We all felt it. Ivchenko stood near the window, muttering again. Prayers, maybe. His rifle was still slung across his chest. I was trying to get comms back up when I noticed it. The silence, not just the absence of noise. A pressure. Like the air had weight now, like the walls were being pulled tight around us. Then a low pop. Lights died. Rook's tablet blinked off. Our earpieces crackled and cut. Even Mackenzie's digital scope fuzzed out like it had been EMP'd. No one said anything. The barn felt off, too quiet, like we were underwater. Del Toro broke the silence. I don't like this, Sarge. I don't like that we can't hear them, not even breathing. They're out there, Ivchenko said, still watching the tree line. They haven't left. They're waiting. Waiting for what? Rook whispered. We got our answer. Mackenzie swung around. Contact, North Ridge. One target. No, two. I stepped to the window. There they were. Two figures, standing maybe 70 meters out, framed between the trees like props in a bad dream. Tall, pale, lean, not hunched, not crouched, standing, like they wanted us to see them. Then a third moved in behind them, and a fourth. All still, all watching. Mackenzie raised his rifle. Orders? Hold, I said. They didn't move, and that's what finally scared me. No twitch, no shift, no animal behavior, just patience, like they knew the exact second we'd break. A fifth shape emerged from the trees, directly in line with the barn. It started walking, upright. Del Toro leveled the saw. I swear to God. I raised my hand. Not yet. The figure came within 30 meters, then 20. I could hear it breathing. Then it stopped, tilted its head, slowly, deliberately. Then it smiled. Mackenzie fired. The shot cracked like thunder. Then we all opened up, controlled bursts, short and sharp. The shape stumbled back but didn't fall. It moved faster than it should have, low, sliding into shadow. Del Toro tossed a thermite grenade. The flash lit up the trees. For a second, we saw them, at least 6 of them now, ringed around the barn. They weren't running. They were closing in. Rook screamed. The roof came down. A shape dropped from above, massive, hit like a boulder. Wood exploded. Dust filled the room. Rook was lifted clean off the ground, his scream cut off mid-breath. Mackenzie turned, fired. Blood sprayed. Not Rook's. but the thing was already gone. Just gone. Evchenko shouted, firing through the open wall. Another shape crashed in through the back. Del Toro caught it with a burst. I saw it stagger, saw blood, but it kept coming, slammed into him and pinned him to the wall. Lefebvre dragged me backward, yelling something I couldn't hear. I saw claws. I saw teeth where they shouldn't be. Then the thing turned on me. I fired. Too late. It was faster. 3 black claws tore through my vest, deep into my chest. I felt heat and cold at the same time, like it had opened me to the outside. Then everything tilted. Wood splintered. My legs went weak. I remember Mackenzie yelling, a flash, more gunfire, and then darkness. I woke up on stone, cold, damp, somewhere underground. No gun, no gear, just my armor, torn and soaked in dried blood. I tried to sit up and failed the first time. My whole body ached. But when I looked down at my chest, the gashes were closed. 3 long scars, already healing. No blood, no bandages, just healed. My breath caught. I wasn't alone. They were there, 3 of them, standing 10 meters away, watching, unmoving, pale, wrong, familiar. One stepped forward, its legs bent too far backward. Its arms were longer than they should be. Its skin looked like wax over carved bone. It didn't attack. It didn't move except for one small gesture. It nodded at me. And in the stillness of that cave, I heard a voice. To most mar amienk vagi. You're ours now.